liberty and justice for all. I guess we'll open the public hearing for our budget. Truth and taxation. Any questions?
I have a question about this. So it says estimates do not include the effect of village DDA capture.
Correct.
What does that mean?
Go ahead.
So the Downtown Development Authority receives money off the Virgin Fund every year. It's a withdrawal.
Right,
So,
not that one.
so typically it's in the range, it's calculated based on a number of factors, but essentially, I'll just give you an idea. This year we had to write a check for about $27,000. So the number you see for the township, the $446,100, which is the estimated revenue, doesn't include the minus of the DDA contribution, because we don't know what that amount is.
Okay, perfect.
So it's not included in that.
All right, thank you. That's only I was wondering. I know what that
But
is.
it is accounted for in the budget.
Yes, it's down, it's line item in the budget.
Exactly. So it's there.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else? I guess we'll close this hearing.
Can you make a motion? I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any next? All right, motion carried. Well, we'll open our, the approval of the agenda.
Also move to approve the agenda as presented March 11th, 2024.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any next? Motion carried. Okay, approval of the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the special budget work session meeting minutes dated February 6, 2024. The regular township board meeting minutes dated February 12, 2024. To accept the treasurer's report as presented. To accept the assessor's report for March 2024. To approve the February 2024 bills and transfer of funds. And in the general fund, check number 30102 through 30145, which includes township bills, township electronic payrolls, and the building department, which also includes the building bills, building payroll, and building monthly remittance checks. Total amount of township, which is township fire and police, and building payrolls and bills for February 2024 is $128,733.49.
I'll support.
Okay.
What do you want?
You did it before me.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? All right, motion carried. County reports, here. Public time.
Susan Huff, 5047 Blood Road. Received this at 2:38 today, the public time policy. Think you need one. I think it's great that you've done this. It sure would have been nice if the citizenry had a chance to look at it. I couldn't have come in and talked to Dave about it because I got it so late, and I only got it because I requested it. Normal people don't know that you're doing this. There are a couple of things that I can see corrected that are just typo type things. Really concerned about the discretions and mays all throughout it because that leaves for arbitrary and capricious application of these rules. Also, a little concerned about the content restrictions. Viewpoint-based cannot be restricted according to the Supreme Court, but that's for another day. Fascism talks a lot about free speech. Many who oppose fascism point out the irony that in all societies where fascism has taken hold, fascist leaders do not support free speech at all, but instead impose significant penalties penalties on anyone who speaks out against them. Reasonable person might ask, what does free speech mean to someone who openly advocates the censorship and even criminalization of opposing views? Well, the answer is easy enough to see as long as we understand what fascism is. Of course, fascism is many things, but one of its core elements is the distinction between a good us and a bad them, a friend and an enemy, as Nazi jurist Carl Schmitt put it. One of the main distinctions between democratic politics and fascist ones is found right here. Democracy means that every human being is fundamentally equal, especially in terms of political rights and power. Fascism says some people are better than others. In fact, many of those whom democracy calls people aren't really worthy of the name. Under fascism, they're mentioned as sheeple, not people. When fascists say people, they mean their version of the good us. There's always a them there, whether or not the them is made explicit. When fascism talks about free speech, that has to be understood in the context of its fundamental commitment to us and them. Free speech to the fascist only applies to us. We must be allowed to say anything we want without consequence. We get free speech in the most ordinary sense of free speech. What's left unsaid is that under fascism, you aren't a person. Not only does this mean that you don't get freedom of speech because you aren't a person, but some kind of sub-person or subhuman. The real humans, the fascist us, believe that they have significant power over you. When it comes to speech, the fascist position usually appears to be that they can say anything while everyone else has to listen to them. And that's a quote from Dr. David Mallett.
Karen Shakeup, resident of the village. So here are some complaints officially filed to you, Sue. I gotta do the papers while I can, right? If you guys can take, I didn't make copies for all of you, but just take a look at those and pass them down. I did make copies for you guys.
This is to pass down.
Yeah, that pile of articles is
I'm
passed
going,
down.
okay.
So I'll try to go fast, because I only have a couple minutes here. So, I want to say first that I asked at the last village meeting how many fire extinguishers are in Harmer Park on Concert of the Park nights, and where are they located. They confirmed for me that there are 0 fire extinguishers in that park on concert nights. I find that astounding as a former events professional. That no fire marshal I ever worked with would ever have allowed that, any gathering of people. But in particular, as you see in my detailed complaint, you have internal combustion engines going into there. You are partly responsible for that event because you contribute to the DDA, the village is responsible for it. You have the police and the fire here. It is disgusting to me, I cannot even put into words, that you have that gathering of people, you have internal combustion engines, you have no exit routes planned out in there, and you have no fire extinguishers, and you were a firefighter. I'm just astounded, and John Clark was a fire chief. I don't know how you guys can excuse it. Other complaint is the ZBA did not receive my comment, my comment I feel was mischaracterized in the minutes, in the draft minutes. I submitted a complaint, didn't even provide it to them to consider. Now, I've also got in there, I hope that our new fire chief, or our new police chief will consider. I go down to the Dryden meeting sometimes. I like to go there. They have a little bit of democracy there. It makes my heart happy. I'll go there tomorrow. But their police chief gives a very different report than ours, so that's why I transcribed it from the audio. I hope you consider this. He just expresses a whole lot more care for the community, a whole lot more like, hey, let's look out for this, all that kind of stuff. But now I got to get to this policy. I should really thank you for doing this because I have never been so fired up to get on my behind in front of my computer and edit those videos I've been working on, and edit those opinion pieces I've been working on. And I've written for a national audience before, and you can bet I will again. Because you can only limit speech here, you can't limit us in the rest of the world. And gosh, I've got an awful lot of footage. This goes in the wrong direction. As I said, Dryden, I go there because I like to see they have some interchange and it's some democracy. And I just feel like we're going backwards here. They advertise their positions and they say, hey, who would be interested in serving on this board? And we don't hear that there's a board opening until you're appointing someone, and you don't even say why, or why that person is interested. So I really think you think hard about this because I can read between lines. That's what I have a degree in. I can read between lines, and you are trying to limit us. Thank you.
Okay, fire department business.
Good evening. We can start with the 24-25 budget. I would ask that you guys approve my 24-25 fire department budget. That you guys will have copies of.
Yeah.
You guys good with it?
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to approve the fire department budget for 24-25 calendar year.
Support.
Roll call. Derderian,
Yes.
Chouinard, yes. Benscoter,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Clark, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. A couple other things real quick. So Katrina has been busy, as you guys know, the last 6 months, probably writing grants. She's wrote 4 of them. One of them we've already got for $10,000. She wrote another one for the equipment grant that's through FEMA, Assistance to Firefighter Grant. That's about almost $65,000 in hand tools and equipment. The important thing on that grant that I want to get approval for or bring up is, if we do get that grant, we have to put up 5% of the funds, which is about $3,200. So I would like to get permission from you guys, if, just in case we do get that grant, that I'm allowed to spend that $3,000 towards the tools of that grant.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the 5% if you are granted the FEMA grant of, the grant request is $67,237, and you would be required to pay 5%. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Any nays?
And she also wrote a firehouse sub-grant for a new washer and dryer, like a gear extractor, to get all the dirty crap out of our gear after we come back from the fire. So she wrote that grant, we have not heard back from yet, and then wrote a 100 Club grant for 4 sets of new turnout gear, which is about $13,000 for 4 sets of gear, so that stuff is not cheap. Moving on to the activity report for February, we're another busy month, and I think right now we're almost 90 calls for the year, so we've been really busy. So we had 37 calls for February, we had 10 fires, 24 medicals, 3 PIs, 1 meeting, 2 trainings, and 0 work details. 2 of the fires we had were structure fires in Lapeer City that we did mutual aid with them. One was a commercial structure fire, the other one was a residential structure fire that ended up being a fatality, a fatal fire. So we were there helping them on them fires. So other than that, that's all that I have. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, police department.
Okay, for the month of February 2024, we had 110 complaints or calls for assistance and 79 traffic stops reported for the month. No burglaries, once again, thank goodness. Larcenies and frauds and things like that, it's a different story. On Center Street, a lady reports back in November 2023, she purchased a computer from Best Buy, but she never received it. It's not known if it was picked up by a Porsche pirate, although they keep the delivery from Best Buy or delivery from FedEx or whatnot cannot come out and say whether it was or not. They didn't take a picture. Ido Villa, caller reports she ordered some items from Amazon that were never delivered, and those items were rosary beads and nose rings. Ido Villa, caller reports his Best Buy credit card was defrauded for $3,000. The case was closed with Best Buy police reports. Greg's Restaurant, a patron was removed for intoxication and refused to pay his bill. He was lodged for defrauding an innkeeper, which doesn't happen that often anymore, but it does still happen. And there were a couple of reports on South Lapeer Road, receiving a letter from a company accusing them of trademark infringement. The complainant just wanted it documented, it doesn't bind it, it was a fraud type thing. So 2 drunk drivers for the month, 13 accidents, 6 were PDAs, 4 were car years, and 3 were injury accidents. 2 of those, I guess, were PI rescues. So, yeah, I don't know if they had to cut out a car extricated. That's what we got for the month. I am requesting that the board consider hiring a part-time officer with 1 lead. And gentleman's name is Brandon Stimpson, last name may ring a bell to some people around here. Brandon's dad has been a police officer in Perry County area for 50 years this next year. And I've known Brandon since he was 3 or 4 years old. And I think he'd be a good fit for the department. He currently works full-time officer as a Pierce City and previously worked with the county a few years back. And City of Flint. So he definitely has the skills and knowledge and ability to do the job, and would request that you maybe pick him up on a part-time status.
I'll make a motion to hire Brandon Stimson for part-time police officer.
I appreciate that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? All right, motion carried.
Thank you for your time.
One thing to add for the police department, we just, on behalf of the Murphy school staff, we wanted to thank you for coming out and presenting a few weeks ago to all 400 kids about the importance of not stealing and being honest and theft. It was really well done, so tell you guys thanks.
Thank you.
It was a great job.
We'll be back. We have a future one coming in the near future.
Excellent.
So on the agenda, we didn't cover the budget. You guys gonna recommend approving the budget?
I would recommend that you do so.
I'm familiar with your budget, so I have no issues with the budget. I just want to make a motion to approve the 24-25 police department budget.
I'll support.
Derderian,
Yes.
Chouinard,
Yes.
Benscoter,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Clark, yes.
Okay. General Appropriations Act.
So we have a lot to go through tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and go through the process. If there's any questions, I'll pause. So first is the 24-25 General Appropriations Act documents in your packet, which defines the budgets, revenue, millage rates, talks about authorization of spending, budget monitoring and such. So this is typically what we do every year. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the 24-25 General Appropriation Act for Metamora Township.
Support.
Derderian,
Yes.
Chouinard,
Yes.
Benscoter,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Clark, yes.
Okay, estimated millage rates.
So in your packet, again, there's a 24 revenue estimate that was provided by our deputy assessor. Okay, and it defines what the township, police, and fire estimates are going to be for the year. The millage rates are staying the same, they're not going up. So I'll make a motion to approve the 24 revenue estimates for the calendar year.
Support.
Derderian,
Yes.
Chouinard,
Yes.
Benscoter,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Clark, yes. Our final estimates will be in June.
Okay, township budget.
All right, so in your packet is the general fund budget. There's 4 pages of the document, defines where the money is going to be spent, or is money being allocated from revenue. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the 24-25 township budget.
Support.
Derderian,
Yes.
Chouinard,
Yes.
Benscoter,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Clark, yes.
Next on the
Millage budget.
Next on the agenda is the building to budget, which defines the estimated revenues based on what we expect for building, as well as the associated expenditures. So I'll make a motion to approve the 24-25 building budget for Metamora Township.
Support.
Derderian,
Yes.
Chouinard,
Yes.
Benscoter,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Clark, yes.
Next, I want to make a propose a resolution to approve the supervisor's salary for the next fiscal year, 24-25 fiscal year.
Support.
Derderian,
Next, I'd like to make a proposal here to approve the clerk's salary for the 24-25 fiscal year.
I'll support.
Derderian,
Yes.
Chouinard,
Yes.
Benscoter,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
abstain.
Next on the agenda is the treasurer's salary.
No.
I can't make the resolution, motion for that, so go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's salary for the 2024-2025.
Support.
Derderian,
Yes.
Chouinard,
Yes.
Benscoter,
Abstain.
Best,
Yes.
Clark, yes.
Next on the agenda is the trustee salary for 24-25 fiscal year. So I'll make a proposal to approve it.
I'll second. Derderian,
Abstain.
Chouinard,
Abstain.
Benscoter,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Clark, yes.
So next on the agenda, oh, I'm sorry, boss.
Dust control.
So we have a project agreement with the County Road Commission for dust control for up to 3 applications for a total of $54,036. I'd like to make a motion to approve this project agreement.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? All right, motion carried.
We have another project, a road project agreement. This is for roadside mowing. It's for the total cost of $14,848, of which the township pays half that, which is $7,424.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, gravel.
So I'd like to make a motion, we have another road project agreement. This is for 10,000 tons of gravel in the amount of $134,000. A lot of money for gravel. So,
Support.
All in favor?
yes, aye.
Yes.
Any nays? All right, motion carried.
So we have 4 project agreements. I'll go through these for basically 2 projects. The first one is for a installation of a cross tube Rocker Road between Barber and Gardner Road. The estimated cost for the project is $14,500.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think we could do all of them.
What's that?
I think we could do all of them at once.
Right, yeah.
Let's
Want to do them separate?
Separate.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
still like separate.
Okay. So the next project, road project agreement is for, again, is for a cross tube, Lloyd Road at Henry Road. This is for a cost of $8,400.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye. Almost said $84,000. I thought that's expensive cross tube. It's made out of titanium or
Should
something.
talk about that.
So the next road project agreement is for, again, some cross tubes at Rocker Road between Barber and Casey Roads. The amount is $16,215.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
The last road project agreement is again for some cross tubes at Rocker Road between Barber and Casey. This is for the amount of $6,000.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's coming, road projects are coming.
All right. Our landscaping goal.
This is for Danny's Pro Landscaping. He's been doing it, I think this is his 3rd year, actually, after Brian retired, after she retired. So his quote is for the spring and fall cleanup with additions of mulch, bed edging, and dumping fees to get rid of all things, so, for the amount of $3,225.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I guess I made that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye. So the next one is for the HRA. This is the healthcare deductible portion that we cover. I'm asking for approval to fully fund that for the next fiscal year, starting April 1st, for an amount not to exceed $6,500. The allocation will depend on who spent the money. That's, you know, I got here, police fund, $3,500, and the general fund, $1,500, but it could go down, so I'm asking for at least to be able to move funds to cover up to $6,500.
I'll make that motion. Or support. Didn't say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? All right, motion carried.
Sure, we can. I don't have a problem.
I mean, maybe
So, the next item on the agenda is a public comment policy. We did receive some feedback from citizens in the community. The plan tonight was to review and approve. Individually, you guys have gone out and reviewed it, provided feedback. We reviewed it with our attorney. He's provided feedback. The content of this documentation is from source documents from other township. This wasn't solely created by us, so we tried to research it. So you guys have those reference materials. So the question becomes, based on feedback from citizens, do we want to put a pause on this and have further dialogue? Or are we at a point right now we want to move forward?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt this public policy.
And you had some reservations. I want to make sure that you're on board.
I just wanted to make sure that it was copacetic with the attorney, you know, and Robert's rules.
Jerry Fisher has reviewed
Jerry
this document
has, yeah, I know he has.
multiple times.
Yeah.
I don't think we're trying to hinder anybody's rights.
I don't
With the
either.
First Amendment, that is nothing, that is absolutely, I do not agree that that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to have order.
I agree.
Not have it be all.
Bantering back and forth.
And then
during
it's happened at other
public time.
meetings.
You know, where everybody is arguing with one another, it's happened over and over.
The speaker, whoever is speaking, should be addressing us, not the audience, not other members. And so we're just trying to create some type of order where everybody has the option to speak for their available time. That's what I feel is. And so when people abuse that or don't follow that, then it becomes chaotic.
Can I ask a question? If that's the case, then why would you have the provision in there limiting that you can choose to limit? Like, I'm supposed to approach Mr. Best and say, I'm going to be recording this. And then he can tell me where I can put my recording device. I've never seen that in another township or any other public meetings comment policy.
So just to answer you, that paragraph is word for word from our attorney. That's where it came from.
It doesn't mean you have to use it. That's just an option, right? But again, I have not seen that in anyone else's.
We have no issues with you recording,
I don't know.
videotaping, whatever you feel that you want to do. We have no
We
issues.
usually have Lovey here for every meeting.
Yeah.
You know,
And we never said anything.
we're just trying to be
Yeah.
respectful of what you want to accomplish, but not disruptive to the entire community that's present. So we're trying to find a balance, right? So are we going to tell you, no, you can't place it here? I mean, I don't know what it means, what you're to place there, right? Is it going to be a huge computer monitor that blocks my view? I don't know.
Scott, the word reasonable.
Right.
probably-
Right, but what does reasonable mean? And if, you decide you hate me, which I totally get, and you want me to have it over in the corner, you say that's reasonable. That's giving you the option.
purpose is to control order, so that it's respectful and everybody has a turn, everybody is heard, and things are maintained in order. That's the whole purpose. There's no other purpose other than that.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Thank you. I liked what I heard Ann say, I liked what I heard Sue say. I agree with you wholeheartedly, the bantering back and forth. As you know, I've been cut off and spoken over by a number of people from the audience before, so I appreciate that very much. But it seems like this does go far beyond that, and one of my concerns is when we say discretion and may, then that is where it can become arbitrary and capricious. Ann has explained before how shall means is gonna be
It's
done.
mandatory.
So when you say that a speaker who exceeds the allotted time is out of order, and if they keep going, they may be removed. Okay, so now it becomes viewpoint oriented. You know, I'm gonna remove them because I don't like their viewpoint, but I'm not going, and I understand, Sue, what you're saying, and I hope it would never happen. But it leaves it open for that to happen, and that's where it becomes a concern for some of us, like myself. You know, I worry about that, and I do love the clarification back here that we can meet with board members and others at any other time. It would be nice to know what the office hours are.
They're 9 to 5, Monday through Thursday.
So Dave is always here 9 to 5.
Like I said,
Is that, and Scott and Tracy and Ann, you know, so somehow give us, just as you go forward, that would really be nice. But, yeah, Bay City went through this, they had some very similar language, and they received some pushback from some First Amendment people, and they have changed their policy because they were able to show them the court cases that show that you cannot limit the content, the viewpoint, and, you know, and that you can still say bad things about you nice people. I mean, I understand that it doesn't feel good when people are critical, but the problem is you've not defined anything in here as to what is the type of speech specifically that you're prohibiting. So, you know, you go from critical to defamation, you know, where it just is not specific enough for those. So those are some of my concerns and why I think it might be worth looking at longer or giving the public a chance to comment on it. Thank you.
So if we do adopt this policy, is it to say that next month, 3 months, whatever, could we amend it?
Of course.
Of course, right?
Always
So,
change
if that becomes a need,
Of course, we can amend it. We can amend anything, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, we've received feedback from a couple citizens on this topic, so what are our next steps? Do we adopt what's written?
Well, we got a motion, right?
Yeah, she made.
I did make the motion to
There you go.
approve this public
But did we
hearing
get a
policy.
second?
No,
Not yet,
not yet.
or, no.
Can we add something that if in, say, 3 months' time or something?
Well, we can anyway.
Well, that's true, but maybe it would be in writing, in black and white.
Well, just like this time, we needed a policy, so,
Yeah, we had no policy
Right.
before, and some of our meetings way past, way past. I had a woman pepper sprayed in the bathroom. So, I know how rowdy they can get. This was a long time ago.
I just don't believe that what's put in this says that we're gonna tell people what they can and cannot say. You have your 3.
How many problems do we have in here?
Well, that,
I just,
Dave, can I ask? I guess I wonder then, what is the problem of just waiting 1 month and giving people a chance to talk to Scott or talk to Tracy or talk, and maybe nobody will. But that's one of the feelings that I have when I come in, is I feel like the meetings, there's no discussion. It's like things often come to the meeting and it's presented and it's voted on without any discussion and without anybody knowing that it was going to happen. So unless you just regularly make a come visit with you guys every month, you wouldn't know it was coming up. And this is an example of it. Nobody had way to know it's coming up. I'm not saying you don't need one, but I think there are things in here that you might find ways to improve, or, you know, I'm not arguing that point, but is there something coming up next month that's really bad that we should know about, and you're afraid you really need to have this in place before next month, and you couldn't wait one more month? So that, I guess that's just what I'm, you know, what I'm.
And there's nothing that I'm aware of coming up. I just feel like it needs to get in place because I like things in order. That's my own opinion. And this.
But I know as a teacher, Tracy, that you often have things presented, and then you work and you talk and you take input, and then you know, it doesn't always happen right that minute. I know you feel like it's been happening because you guys have been working on it, but we weren't aware of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's our draft. It's all red lines all over the place. So, we've had discussion. And as far as.
So what do we want to do? Okay. So do we want to table this for a month and allow further feedback from anyone who wants to comment on it? And then have jury further review?
Well, my question is it available for other people to see, and how do they know we're even
That would be really
doing
She
this policy?
requested one.
Huh?
She requested it. and
Yeah,
I-
yeah,
I-
she did, but
I did that because Sue knows I always end up sending her an email asking for an agenda.
Would it be
And then I
proper to
saw it
put-
on the agenda, so I
Would it be
requested
proper
it.
to put it in the paper about,
The paper.
I mean, not paper, but, you know, on the internet, about how, I don't
On our
know, to
website?
make other people aware, besides
I mean,
the
everybody
students.
passes, there
in
are,
3
every
days.
place you go to, there is a
Yeah,
policy set.
yeah,
We
they
just
are.
never have done it.
right, I know it.
I mean, Oxford, the Lapeer Community School.
Well, the ambulance
Board,
service has
all
policy.
the things, that's all we're trying to implement.
Yeah.
Is that there just should be some order and some respect on both sides.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to maintain here. Is, and that, I'm not trying to tamper anybody's right to say whatever they want to. That's what America is, so.
Can I just say one more thing? I have read an awful lot, like I said, an awful lot of those public comment policies. I've never seen anyone giving themselves the power to restrict where we can record, put our recording devices. And I've also never seen anything. The other thing that really worried me is the papers, right? Because I pass out papers, and a lot of people don't like that. Nash limited me at a meeting and made everyone pass back in the papers, which was just a document that was made by the township. So giving you, Mr. Best, all the power to say how these rules get implemented without further definition is the thing that worries me. Just like when there was the Brower Road folks who were here talking, I was limited to 3 minutes. The Brower Road folks went on and on and on. It was like way over half an hour. And so that gives you the power, and again, we all have bias, but power based on your bias to allow certain things to be heard much bigger than other things. That's my concern, and that is limiting free speech in my opinion.
So a motion has been made to recommend the adopting of this. Is there a second?
I can't make it.
I know you can.
Yeah.
I know you can. And?
Well,
I'll second.
Well, I still wanted to, with a provision that but we can do that, so,
Just hold it up or down.
yeah.
Mark made the motion to support,
Right,
to approve as presented.
yeah.
I made the second.
She seconded.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna
No.
vote on it. Now, do we need a
A roll,
roll call?
We can. Derderian,
yes.
Chouinard,
Try.
yes. Benscoter,
Yes.
Best,
Yes,
Clerk, yes.
there, it's done. And we can change it.
We can amend it if we need to. Right.
So you want to talk about the next topic, Sue, which is
Oh,
the
yes.
conference?
So in June of every year, the clerks, the Michigan Municipal Clerks Association of Michigan, has their conference, and I'm asking that my deputy and myself, may go during, June 18th through 21st
discussion?
I was gonna talk about the, past election, the 9 days of early voting. We had 104 voters that came through. I see that August and November will, I would say would increase. It was pretty low turnout, only 27.62% for this election was out of, all our voters. Out of, 3,947 voters, so that was our, the cost, which this election will be reimbursed by the parties through the state. But for my 9 days of early voting, I had 4 workers here, and then I had 10 workers plus my deputy on election night, so for just that payroll was $8,760. So I expect August and November to be more, and those aren't reimbursable, so.
A lot of work.
Yeah, it was a long.
I commend you guys for, you know,
Mhm.
the work that you put into presenting an election.
So I just wanted to.
So I got an opportunity to work the election, which was great. I enjoyed it a lot. Got to see a lot of people and got to see the process. I just want to make a general comment from my observations that Sue does an outstanding job leading activity. Very diligent, very thorough.
I witnessed
she's-
that when I was voting.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's a very good job. So I appreciate everything she does for the community. So
So do I.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting if that's okay, boss.
Support.
All right.
Next township cleanup day.
May 11th.
May 11th.
You know, we forgot to say goodbye.
May 11th.
It's almost open at 12.
Yeah.